January 17th, 2026. As Florida celebrates its one weekend of winter a year, we're back with a very terrible podcast with me, Jason.
And I'm Laurie.
And this is our first podcast of 2026.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
You got to miss out on last weekend's adventures.
Yep, I don't participate in the death pool.
Well, there was the death pool, and then did you see all the young and the next generation of very terrible podcasts that took over?
Yes, I did watch that. I thought they did a great job.
I think they did a really great job.
Yeah.
I was really, for as much as Bea sat down and kind of like bent over in the corner and done her own thing and then just kind of watches me push the buttons and do my thing, she got over here. And as soon as she saw the buttons and she kind of lights up, and then you see her, like, even the still picture we have on the YouTube thing is her pointing at other people, like, here, you do that and you do this. It's your turn to talk.
Yeah, she catches on quickly to things, but we've always known that about her.
Yeah, that, and she likes to be in charge.
Oh, I wonder where she gets it from.
So, yeah, they did a really great job. So if you haven't had time to go check it out, I don't even know what to call it. It's like the kids, but they're almost grown up adults now. But yeah,
they might want to do it again. And Ian was trooper.
Yeah,
3 girls.
Yeah. He was definitely taking some heat on some of the stuff though, but he did a really good job too, and I was really happy. And they all got to engage and play in it and just be themselves, and it was really a fun episode. So we're back for the first episode of 2026, and you will see the beautiful new microphone that my lovingly wife bought me for Christmas.
I don't know if it's the lighting or what, but I look really washed out. I either need some sun or we need I don't know. The light.
Do I look washed out? I look gray.
Oh, no, I just look really, really pale. But I am really pale, but this lighting isn't doing me any favors.
And that's the off-white one. That's not even the white light. That's the
I
off-white.
need like the give you a tan light for the people who are watching this part. Wait, I know you've told me this before.
Yeah.
I know it's a podcast.
Yep.
And I know people can listen only. Can they watch the whole thing?
Yes.
On YouTube. Okay. Yep. So then they're... Okay.
And we've started putting the video onto Spotify. So they can even watch the video on Spotify now.
Okay.
Which, come to find out, I guess is like the most popular way to do Spotify is people just put their video on and just they get on the treadmill, they work out, they do whatever. And it's not just audio where I thought it was. Because when I use Spotify, it's audio. And when they use it, it's video. And I got a lot of feedback that said, put the videos on Spotify. So that's what we started to do.
Well, back to what you were saying about the one cold week.
Oh, the one cold weekend, a year in Florida. And this was it.
Yeah, but I went out this morning, and by the time I got home, I had to change into short. Well, I had short sleeves on, but I had to change because I got a spot on my shirt. But anyway, I had to take my jacket off on the way home because it was getting warm. So we're lucky, or we're fortunate that when it does get cold, the sun's still out.
Yes,
that's a big.
It's
thing.
the only environment I've ever seen where you can use the heater and the air conditioner in the same day.
Yeah. There's probably other states, though.
I'd have to imagine.
That do that.
But yeah, this one and this weekend was just coldest record on day in the last 4 years. So the iguanas were
coldest day on record?
For the last 4 years.
Yeah, you said coldest record on day.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why you're here. Yep. Quality assurance officer. For the last 4 years, this was the coldest day. Iguanas were falling from trees and people were freaking out online, didn't know how to drive, and they had to pull out their one winter coat that they own.
The school district put out a memo or something saying, it's going to be like 30 degrees and please dress your kids appropriately and keep them in the car with you before the bus comes if you can.
Yeah, I'd imagine, especially when you let kids dress themselves, they're definitely going to underdress. So,
yeah,
as is our experience.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
That's
I'm
okay.
just looking because I had some random topics.
Yeah, let's take us off here. It's
very random.
Laurie's List 2026.
Well, it doesn't have to be all my list. We really didn't know what we were going to talk about, so I just went and thought of some things, and I think you quickly thought of some things, and here we are. Okay, so what are some things that you didn't have to think about as a kid or didn't really think about, but now as an adult you have to think about regularly?
Money. All the time. It was just as a kid, you were given your 3 meals, you had a roof over your head, and you had a bed to sleep in. Hopefully, and not everybody does, but hopefully you did. And that I don't remember ever having to really think about money until I was of an age And it was relatively young compared to my friends that I had bought my first Nintendo Entertainment System. That would have been 1987, so I would have been 10 years old. And that was at the first time where I wanted to get a Nintendo, and I was told, if you want it, you have to go out and earn the money this summer to go and pay for it. And after tax, it was $107.99. So I exactly remember exactly how much it was.
Were you ever, like, as a kid, like, told, like, let's say you're in the grocery store and you wanted, I don't know, something, and they're like, no, we don't have money for that, like whatever food it was or item?
I'm positive that we did.
I know we did.
Yeah.
Like it was, yes.
Like you'd ask and then get the no? Because I was to the point of I didn't even ask anymore.
Yeah, it was like there wasn't like, oh, you want those cookies? Go ahead, put them in the cart. Or, oh, you want to try that new drink? Go ahead, put it in the cart. Like it was, we definitely,
I think
my family did not have money.
Very different for our daughter. Yeah, very different for her.
Yeah, well, and not that, I mean, I'm not saying we definitely don't have an overabundance of money. We live within our means, but yeah, it's...
Oh, comparison-wise, I did see something very interesting, and it was a little, your algorithm feeds the things you talk about, and as we always talk about money and things like that, somebody had held up a position, and I really thought it had some validity to it, where they said, everybody talks about they want to go back and live like the families in the 1960s, that you could live when they're under one income. They said, fine, you still can in 2025, but you have to live like it's the 1960s. There's one television with no streaming services and no internet.
One car.
And there's only home-cooked meals. You didn't go out to eat. And they said, you still can. It's just a matter of you want to live the 2025 lifestyle with the 1960s requirements to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's the disparity. I thought that was pretty interesting. I never thought about it like that before. I saw that little meme show up on my phone.
That's a good point.
What else? Talk to me more about your grocery store growing up experiences.
Well, what the thing that I wanted to say that I didn't really think about as a kid that every single day as an adult is what's for dinner.
Oh yeah.
And I do try. Well, first of all, we share the cooking. It's not like I do all the cooking, but like just coming up with what are we going to eat, and not that it has to be anything special, but it's like, just some nights you just don't want to think about it. I just want the food to be there, but I want it to be something that I like. So that's definitely something as a kid.
How do you feel like when it comes to meal planning, how do you feel about the meal calendar? Because I've seen you do it. Like you'll sit there during the week and you'll write in the days and you'll write in the meals for the day.
But what I've done, I don't write in what's for the day. I know what we have in the, like, to choose from, and then we can pick from there. Because, like, maybe, I don't know, we don't want pork chops tonight. I don't want to be like, it's Saturday night, it's pork chop night.
Pork chop night, yeah.
So I tend to, like, write down what I know we have the stuff to make, or we've recently went to the store, or we're going to the store to get, and then it'll be like, okay, we can have this, or this, whatever. Yeah. Or some nights, I don't know, like the nights that when you're on duty, I pretty much just eat random, whatever. I'm going to have a salad, or I'm going to eat leftovers. Maybe it's just a bagel and a yogurt. I mean, it's very, and not that you ever are like, we have to have a meal, but I just feel that's something we do together is have dinner together.
And a lot of people don't. We're learning that the hard way.
Oh, my word, yes.
The stories, not necessarily the stories with names, but just like, the Bella's friends will come over. And they're like, you guys have dinner together. And there's this look of amazement in their face.
Yeah, or just in conversations, not just even with friends over, but it blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it has to be an every night thing, because especially with families with multiple children and sports and, parents who maybe aren't fortunate enough to work like daytime hours, maybe one parent goes to work at 3 and they work till 11. But I highly encourage. Do I keep hitting the table?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. The viewers are I'm like,
yeah, sorry.
But
yeah, I just think it's pretty important to
it's the one time that you can still, going back to those 1960s where it was part of the routine and you did have the family interaction, where now you can literally sit there with your cell phone and your computer and never see your family members all day long.
I actually think I talked about this on a podcast before.
Was it this podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I haven't been on any others. Yeah, it was definitely this podcast. So I won't keep talking about it. But yeah, I just think, yeah, I already said what I think. So.
Other things, the magic laundry basket. I never thought about laundry until I became an adult.
Yeah.
Because it was just done all the time. You just put your dirty clothes in the hamper and there'd be a clean pile in your room. You'd have to put the pile away and that was it.
Yeah. Or I think about like not so much for us because we just have one child, but the parents who both work and getting the kids back and forth, all of the juggling that takes, and sometimes the planning when there's more than one kid that needs to be in one place and the other needs to be somewhere else. Like, never thought about that. And that brings me to, I just thought of this, nothing on the notes that I made, but when it comes to careers, you know, our daughter is 15, so not that it's a hot topic, but the topic has come up, like how do you pick a career and how do you know if you're choosing the right one and all of those things that you think about. And like I think about my own experience and how I ended up where I am and was, which worked out well, but I didn't really have anyone like guiding me or saying, oh, you should consider this or that. But I feel like kids nowadays have so many avenues that they can find out about careers and things. But I don't even know where I was going with that.
The whole world is different too. Like in our days, there wasn't the technology that there is now. So your careers it was industry, military, or retail, and that was it. Those are your three paths.
Well, but sorry, I digress. The reason that came to mind was thinking as an adult now with years of experience as an adult. I think when someone is trying to choose a path, things to think about are, you know, do you want to work from home? Like when I was in college, there was no working from home.
Right. It didn't exist.
Right. Or are you okay working nights and weekends? How do you feel about working on holidays? Do you want a stressful job? Not that anyone wants a stressful job, but typically the more stress comes more money.
Right.
And what's important to the person, like, do they want to have a family? So for example, if you want a family, maybe one of your goals is to not work nights and weekends. Maybe your goal is to work nights and weekends because of, I don't know what, but never thought about that as a kid.
No, not at all.
Much less when planning a career. And I think it's really important, especially for someone who's like, yeah, maybe one day I want to have kids. Trust me, you don't want to be the one working from 3 to 11 and every weekend when your kids are in school during the week, and then childcare and everything that goes with that. So I suggest anyone who has kids that's thinking about their careers as they're approaching the college years or in college or going back to college, talk about those
Even
kinds
us,
of
though.
things.
I mean, we've had career adjustments since we've been married. I mean, I started in retail, then went into public service.
Yeah.
You've recently had a shifting of gears in your career too. So it's like, but you know, there's not, I don't know if it's not and I think that's the one thing that we always try to stress is that there's not just one path. There's not just one, hey, here's what's right now for at the time. And when you're like, when I was young and single, hey, I could go work on the East Coast. I could spend the weekend away. I could go work all hours, all weekends, every holiday, didn't matter. And then as you know, you came along, Bella came along, all those dynamic changes, the requirements changed, and it's it's a balancing act. It's constantly back and forth of how much money do we need to make, how much money do we want to make, and what are we going to sacrifice to make those dollars and cents? And that's kind of how it's been evolving. And as we now are aging, and we're getting into that part where we've paid off things, and where our savings is looking good, and everything's kind of coming into play, we don't have to stress anymore. We don't have to.
Are we recording?
Yeah. See the little red dot up there with the timer?
Yeah, but I don't see the timer
I know.
on
We
there.
talked about that last episode. It's not recording here. It's recording over there.
But it used to be on there.
Used to be on there.
Okay.
Yep.
It's going to take me a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, you said that in the last episode.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, it's going to take me a little bit.
So, but that's, I think as time goes by, you continually revisit these as you enter new and different chapters of your life. So as a kid, obviously you never think about any of that stuff. But even now, like, you know, we get into your mid 30s, mid 40s, and then so you're getting into now to this retirement phase. What's that going to be like? How is it? You don't want to just sit at home and rot away and just online shop and drink.
Drive each other crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there'd be zero chance. So what else you got?
My two responses to that were dinner and then like activities and family and all the juggling that comes along with it. That's what came to mind for me. Anything else for you?
I always thought about video games, which I never really get to think about anymore. That's the difference of what I did versus not doing. Otherwise, I had a good, whether it be by accident or by proxy, I had a good idea of how things needed to get done. So like when it came to chores or cleaning, I was the weird kid. I was the one that would vacuum, like during summer vacation, I vacuumed my carpet in my room every day.
Wow.
Every day. I wanted to have the lines in the carpet.
Well, I inherit, I'm not sure what the word is. I ended up cleaning a lot, not because I wanted to, but I liked things not, oh, sorry, I keep hitting this,
okay.
Not messy. And I just felt like no one else in the house really did it. So like, for example, at one point for a period of time, we lived in a 2-story house and I hated vacuuming the stairs. I feel like no one else ever vacuumed. Like, I think it could have been the most whatever filled floor and it, well, okay, well, we're just going to keep walking on it. So I had that in me, like, no, we need a clean bathroom. Like, we don't want toothpaste in the sink and I need to feel like if I'm sitting in the bathtub, it's clean. And at that time, I'm trying to think how many kids there were in the house that used that bathroom. I think it was 5.
Yeah.
And I swear I was the only one who cleaned the bathroom. And I know I was the only one who ever cleaned the stairs. And not because my dad or his wife ever said I needed to do it. I just thought this needs to be done.
Would you agree or disagree with the idea that that was something that was felt normal? It brought normalcy to the chaos of the day. Like to have some kind of order, some kind of...
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think I thought that way about it at the time, but maybe.
I think for me, the cleanliness thing too was like, we lived in a mobile home and I'm like, well, the people have like, I wanted something clean. Like, so, because when you think of people in mobile homes, you think of dirty and trashy and I didn't like that.
No, but let me rewind. I think the type of mobile home you lived in, just to set the stage here, it wasn't like a fifth wheel.
No.
It was a manufactured home on concrete that was a regular house. It wasn't.
There was still a stigma amongst the kids, and you always felt like, well, I always wanted to have it clean. So when anybody would come over, they'd be like, oh, this place is kind of nice, and they would have that.
Okay.
That's what I had to have to kind of get over that hurdle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. What was I don't know how much time we're going to have for
all the time in the world. This doesn't have a tape.
I was thinking just earlier today, when did we become such a productivity-driven society in the workforce? And I don't have an answer for that, but I feel like it's very prevalent now. Like you have to do so much of, and not just in the field I was in before I made the transition to where I'm at now, which was very productivity driven. You have to have this accuracy and this productivity, and this is the way it is to keep this job. But even like in sales now and for a while, you have to do so much of something to keep your job. Doctors, providers, nurses, you have to do, so many charges. So you have to see so many patients. It hasn't always been this way.
I think that is a supporting criteria for a much larger problem. Because when you asked that question when we were setting up the show, the first place my mind went to was how we don't treat employees like people anymore. Employees are simply numbers. And if you don't like it, they will move on to the next one and they've just got a pile of applications and it doesn't matter. So go on are the pensions, go on are the good benefit packages, go on are the days of like you put in work for 30 years at say Ford and you retired with a Ford pension and like at cost vehicles and that all that's gone. And I think even like, so now you live in a world of constant stimulus with your cell phone and your tablets and your TVs, and your brain has to keep getting stimulus. So now you've got this new criteria. Well, I have to do these things in this amount of time. Boom. And your brain just takes over and you just keep pumping out work and just enough work to be not fired, but not enough to where you burn yourself out. And I think that's a byproduct, I think, is all these criteria of having to achieve these numbers.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm not speaking for, well, personally, I don't like it, but for society in general, I don't like it. I think we lose a lot of the value in not having to rush along to the next thing, that if we could take those extra minutes or amount of time to talk with someone a little bit more, or to be more helpful, or double check what we're doing.
You know what a good study would be is just doing it right the first time versus doing it twice because you screwed it up because you went too fast because of your productivity numbers.
Yeah.
I just
and like even in I think in your job, not just a little piece that comes to mind is like you have a goal, I think, for how quickly.
Yes.
Not how quickly can you drive, but how quickly can you be ready to get in the vehicle?
We have 2
everybody.
Minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were allowed to say that.
It's a national standard that they're all trying to get to.
Yeah.
2 minutes out the door.
And I get that. I understand it. But like, I just hope it doesn't come to a point where, if it's 2 minutes, 15 seconds and it happens this many times, then someone's going to be talking to someone about why is it taking you 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
No, we've had
God
that
forbid you're on the toilet bowl.
We've had that exact conversation because the first basis for me is that for me in the fire department, the firehouses are built different. I'm in a model of firehouse, which is the largest of all the models that are available. It takes me and my people the longest time to get to the truck. So then, to get out the door. So, in the middle of the night, if you're dead asleep, get up, go through the biggest station, get into the truck, get out the door. So I would kind of egg the conversation on to say, hey, listen, we need to talk about it in this manner. Show me the average. Now make me a goal that's 5% better. And then just make it. It doesn't have to be a stagnant number of 2 minutes. If you take one of the smallest stations and you trip on your bed, you're going to fall into the truck. So, I mean, for them, the 2 minutes is much easier to attain, where for us, it's not. And it doesn't. And once again, once it becomes punitive is where I have an issue with it. It's a goal. It's a goal to provide great service, good service, accurate and safe the first time.
Right. But I don't like it when they make goals part of your performance metrics, which that's a big thing too.
Yes, absolutely. They're going to tie your salary to it. And in my line of work, what stops somebody from trying to run to a truck? They trip, they fall, they smack their head on something. Now all of a sudden I have an injury in the workplace. That's far more expensive than the extra 10 seconds it would have been to do it right the first time.
Yeah. Anything else on that?
No, I agree with you. I just think it's a snapshot of society in general. I think everything now is just numbers based. There's no personality. There's nothing. Everyone is replaceable. And we are seeing the ebbs and the flows of the quiet quitting and the constant stress of like, well, everybody's replaceable and I've got more people than I've got jobs. So we'll just tear through a bunch of you. And it's very sad because there's a lot of quality and good people that have to sacrifice to, maintain.
All right. Next, let me see. Well, what do you have? Let's see here.
Well, we got back. You want to do New Year's? So the kids talked about New Year's resolutions on their episode. And I think they really hit the nail on the head. There was especially with Ian, he went through and he really pointed out people's things where once we come into February, most of your New Year's resolutions are over. You're not going to be doing them.
Yep. And I'm sure I'm going to see that at the gym. Everyone's gung-ho coming in and they'll and not that I don't want them to not continue to go. I just know that come mid-February around Valentine's Day, things are going to thin out.
So did you actually select yourself any New Year's resolutions this year?
No, but I don't normally.
No, me either. I try to be awesome all year long, so why am I going to bother doing it in January?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that for myself. I just think if I'm going to start something, I don't necessarily need to do it at a new year. I'll just say, okay, I'm going to start this now and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, at least for us, we keep pretty much a tight, leash on everything. So there's nothing that's really getting away from us.
I know the answer to this, but do you exercise?
Yes, but not as much as I probably should.
Okay.
My exercise is different as I got older too. Like when I was younger, like exercise was very, like I have the young bucks at work now that they go through and they throw their weights around and they're doing these things that are just ridiculous. Where what I jokingly say is the old man workout is I put on my air pack and I'll, go for a 3-mile walk or I'll go do what I call 50 ups. So mine's a 2-story firehouse and it has a stairwell in it and I'll go up 50 times. I don't count downs. Downs are easy. We count ups. So 1, 1 up, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. And, I'll do 50 ups. And because, the tallest tower in my fire district is 18 stories. So if I can go 50 up in training, I should not have any problem doing 18 up with all of my stuff on.
Yeah.
So.
And you do weights. some weight
I will do some weights. It's not what once again, not what the young bucks can do.
Yeah.
And I try to keep myself healthy because it doesn't take much. Like I just got over, not that everybody cares at home, but I just got over a pretty long-term back injury, and now I'm finally straightened out, so I can go back to lifting weights again. But my weights have been lower, my cardio has been more up, and it's focused more too on diet more than anything else too. Because as my metabolism slows down as I age, it's harder to maintain or to keep that weight off.
Very true.
So, and you work out quite often.
Yeah, I try 4 times a week. I go to, well, not just Bella and I. We go 3 times a week together. Yep. I usually go 4th by myself. Not that she can't come with me. It just usually ends up that way. And then I ride my Peloton.
Yeah. And that's
I try.
Fantastic. And that's as long as your body's in motion, stays in motion. That's just physics.
Yeah. And a big part of it, too, is the mental aspect of
big
it.
Time.
The not zoning out, but where the focus isn't on everything else. It's I'm working on this. This is for me in this moment. And you really, I don't know about you, but I'm not like, oh, I have to do this when I leave and my grocery list or this and that and this. I'm truly in the moment when I'm at the gym. And I just think that clarity is
mine. I have to slow my mind down. So my mind's running all the time, full speed, just blaring through stuff. And I had to explain this to one of the young men at work the other day where, when I work out, it's by myself and I physically exhaust my body. And once I exhaust my body, my mind becomes clear and not before. So when I'm I'm thinking about work and this and that and what meals and what this and this truck.
While you're exercising?
And then my body will, because I'm always just thinking about stuff.
Oh.
And then I sit and I'll physically exhaust my body. And then all of a sudden my mind just goes, oh.
I did not know that. I'm learning something about you.
Yeah.
So even in the moment, like if you're lifting weights, you're thinking about other, wow.
Oh, okay. It's constantly firing and it's annoying.
Okay.
So that's why I tell people, I go, my workout is less for my physical health and more for my mental health. It's enough and even said with the 50 ups, when you get to about 35, you're already tired and you've got 15 more to go. So and there's just times where you're physically exhausted and just, I don't know if it's a dopamine release or it's some kind of endorphins or whatever it is, but my brain just goes, okay. And you physically don't have any more energy. So your brain just goes, and it just slows
Kicks
down
off.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
And I like it. Huh. But that's what it's for.
Speaking of running, in the stairwell, I remember I used to years ago, like many years ago, run stadiums.
We used to do that once together.
Yeah, I did that with Carrie before you. She's the one who kind of was like, hey, why don't you come with me and do this?
And that's not easy either.
No, we used to do 10 figure eights of the whole stadium. That was hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, so no New Year's resolutions. 2026 will be a continuation of the greatness of 2025 from the Very Terrible Podcast. Anything else for him?
No. What time?
Oh, you're over 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I think. What's that little red dot say? I can't see that far. I see there's a number in it. It looks like it's something 8, 28 or 38.
Really sure.
Doesn't matter. Either way.
That's why I like it on that.
I know. I could probably just run
thing
the timer
over
for funsies.
There. Yeah, I think we're
going to call it.
Call it pretty
All right.
soon
Well,
here.
thank you for joining us again on the Very Terrible Podcast. Thank you for hanging out for a little
welcome.
bit. She's got other things to do today, and I don't, so she was kind enough to stop by. And
I've already been out and about this morning.
I know. You just
going to do
object
something
in motion
tonight.
stays in motion. All right. With that, thanks to everybody for joining us. Keep on board and keep on trucking. Let's see. I'm Jason.
And I'm Laurie.
This has been a Very Terrible Podcast. Health, wealth, and happiness. Talk to you next time.
Bye.